last time we discussed American Christianity versus biblical Christianity, which can be entirely two different animals based upon where you are.
Yes.
You have called on church leaders to take their stand and speak to the truth to the rabid culture war we've been in for a long time, and many have failed to do so. In your travels with your meetings, are you finding that voices now are rising up and willing to address the rabid culture war in the late hour in America? Are they willing to now speak the truth?
I think something has just broken through in the minds of pastors in America. And what's broken through is that they aren't being political. It's what's dawned on thousands of them. And so much has been said by many, including myself, that pastors needed to get bold and live up to their calling.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel sometimes in every tent crusade, I'll look at the audience, how many of you are here pastors? Stand up. I say, I want to thank you all for speaking out. And I think we need to commend all of these people that are standing right now because they've taken a position on marriage and on abortion. And they've said something about the curriculum that their children are getting. And they're at the school board meetings. And the roar that goes up from the people. And so I think what has happened that first of all damaged the American pulpit is we began rewarding people for their compromise.
Mm-hmm.
They began to get applause for not quoting the Bible or calling for repentance. So I said, why not turn that tide? In front of 5,000 people, let's honor the men and women who are in their pulpits saying it. That's number one. Number two, and I think this is real key right now, that a lot of ministers have come to the position where, we didn't bring the fight to you. You brought it to us.
Mm-hmm.
You shut our churches down. You left the marijuana dispensaries open and the bars open, and you locked down the churches.
Right.
And suddenly these men and women realize, they came after us.
That's right.
And I mean, they say there's separation of church and state, but even they don't believe that because they didn't separate themselves from our freedom. They went after it.
That's right. That's right.
And one of the things that I also say is that for years, I have decried the situation, and I've been accused of being a politician. This went on for a long time. You're a politician. You're not a preacher anymore. You're just a politician. And I look at him and I go, for years I did this and I preached against drugs. I preached against marijuana being an entry-level drug and heroin and crack cocaine and the damage it's done. And I said, no one ever called me a pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm mentioning an evil for the very same reason that I address the drug problem, I'm addressing the political problem. It's not that I become political. Politics became spiritual. And that's what pastors are realizing. They're coming after our freedom. They're coming after our speech. Canada is gone. If we need an ominous harbinger of America, just look north.
That's right.
When they're arresting you for lack of pronouns, I mean, that's an astonishing moment.
Yes.
But it's heading this way.
Yeah.
And I think the men and women of God in the pulpit have realized it.
So you are seeing that they are waking up that this is like very serious.
Very serious.
Okay. And some are addressing it.
And I'll tell you one last thing about it that's very important. You have a mother out there that went to a school board meeting because she saw something that her child brought home that was pornographic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was part of her curriculum. And so the mother goes to the school board meeting and she scans the room and wonders where her pastor is. Why is,
Interesting.
I'm here. Where's my pastor? And so I wrote a blog and it received quite a bit of traction. I said, the most dangerous thing about you remaining silent is that your sheep are going to believe you don't love them. that you don't care about what they're actually going through. They are actually losing their jobs for witnessing. They have a child suspended for wearing a Christian t-shirt. They have these constant moral battles, and they would expect that your sermon would pertain to what I'm actually suffering. What am I actually going through? And it doesn't. It's for an era that's bygone. They believe the average housewife is dealing with simple depression. She's not. She is navigating a minefield every day where influences of gang, of TikTok, social media, and the list goes on and on. Church ought to be helping me with that. I'm not going to get that help from my therapist. They're probably in as much emotional turmoil as I am. I need my pastor to speak up and equip me. That's the job. So they've realized that. And when that blog went out, it was amazing how many pastors said, you know, I never realized that my people could feel like I don't love them because I'm not brave enough to confront the evil that is attacking them.
So that was the point. That was the pressure point.
Yes.
That woke them up.
Yeah.
So you are seeing that.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting.
Because you're right. You can't turn on the TV and find out that information.
And there's another side to it that bears mentioning. The Democratic Party gives millions of dollars to churches under the table.
I did not know that. Really?
And when there was a large convention and my friend attended it, and he was there and say, why are you pushing Democrats if you know where they stand on so many issues? And they said, and this man wouldn't let it go. He said, you know where they want children to die after they're born. They want this. They want men to be in women's sports. See, and I know this is controversial.
That's okay. You got the floor.
So in pressing them, they finally admitted, and it's true here locally, by the way.
Doesn't surprise me. You're in a blue state.
Okay, there are spirit-filled churches here. They're in Buffalo and they're in Rochester, and they are funded by the Democratic Party. And when push comes to shove and they're confronted about why they continue to support their base, they'll clear their throat and say, they're giving us money.
So that's what it comes down to. It always does, doesn't it? Babylon. Wow, that's eye-opening to me, but now it makes sense.
And conversely, and I think this bears saying,
sure.
How many churches do you know of that say the Republican Party has given us money to fund our church? None. Absolutely none.
What happened to separation of church and state then, right?
It's only when it applies to their agenda.
Right.